I feel the weight of our shared destiny, as though every step I take beside you carries the echo of unseen shadows, and yet, even in that uncertainty, my heart cannot resist the pull of yours. Each glance you offer is a spark in the night, yet it leaves me trembling, aware that the world beyond us may conspire to test the fragile sanctuary we have carved together. When I think of our mornings intertwined, I wonder if time itself will honor the promise of us, or if it will steal moments silently, leaving only the memory of warmth I cling to in the quiet. The thought of losing even a fragment of you tightens my chest with a pressure I cannot name, a fear mingled with desire so sharp it leaves me breathless. I have seen the way your laughter can illuminate a room, and yet I know the same light that guides me to joy can be dimmed by circumstances beyond our control. I find myself measuring every word I speak to you, every hesitation in my gestures, because I fear the fragile thread of our happiness may fray if I falter even slightly. There is a suspense in loving you that is more intoxicating than any fairy tale, for I cannot predict when the tides of fate will rise or fall, and each heartbeat with you is a stolen moment I guard as if it were the most precious jewel in existence. The intimacy we share feels sacred, yet the future whispers that nothing sacred is ever guaranteed. Sometimes, when the moonlight dances across your face, I catch glimpses of the man you are, and the man you may become, and I tremble at the thought that life might demand more of you than I can bear to watch you give. Yet, in that same trembling, I find the courage to love you deeper, as though our shared vulnerability is itself a binding force that no storm could sever. I dream of 1,000 lifetimes in your embrace, yet I awaken each dawn with the subtle panic that even this lifetime might not be enough. There is a delicate suspense in the very act of breathing near you, a tension woven from the fear of impermanence and the thrill of possession that is wholly yours. When you speak my name, it is a melody that reverberates through the corridors of my heart, yet I cannot dismiss the shadows that cling to it. The specter of what could go wrong, of what might tear us apart before our love reaches its full bloom. And still, I let the music consume me, for the alternative is a life without your gaze. I confess, sometimes I lie awake thinking of the world beyond our walls, imagining forces that could challenge us, and I shiver, not from the cold but from the intensity of my devotion and the anxiety it breeds. You are my anchor, yet even anchors can be tested by tempests, and in that knowledge, my love swells both with hope and a quiet, unrelenting dread. Your smile lingers in my mind like the echo of a bell, a promise of happiness that tempts me to believe in permanence, though I know that nothing is truly permanent. Every moment with you is both a treasure and a test, a delicate balance between elation and the deep, lingering suspense of what tomorrow might bring. I find myself tracing your presence in the air when you are absent, feeling the contours of your absence as though it were a physical weight, a reminder that life's uncertainty can intrude upon even the most serene of hearts. And yet, I do not shrink from that weight, I welcome it, for it is proof that my heart beats wholly in tandem with yours. There is a silent conversation I hold with the stars at night, confessing fears I cannot voice aloud. I speak of your laughter, your tenderness, the way your eyes anchor me, and I plead with the universe to safeguard what we have, to grant us patience against the unknown, though I know the future is as restless as the ocean. Sometimes, I imagine a world in which we are separated by circumstance, and the mere thought is enough to make my knees weak. Yet in that imagined anguish, I discover the resilience of my love for you, a force that defies logic, a light that persists even when shadows threaten to claim the edges of our happiness. Every time your hand brushes mine, I feel the gravity of our connection, the pull of shared histories and untold promises. Yet intertwined with that joy is a subtle suspense, a quiet warning that life's tides are unpredictable, and the hands that hold mine today may one day falter through no fault of our own. There is a rhythm to loving you that I cannot name, a cadence that shifts between serenity and tension, between comfort and fear, as if every heartbeat carries the duality of bliss and anxiety, and I find myself surrendering to it willingly, for the sweetness of your presence outweighs the shadow of uncertainty. I remember the first time our eyes met, and the way your gaze unsettled the very foundations of my being. That same gaze now feels both familiar and mysterious, a reminder that even in love, there is room for intrigue, for the uncharted corners of the heart that I am only beginning to explore with you. At times, I sense the fragility of the world pressing against us, and my chest tightens with an almost unbearable mixture of fear and reverence. It is in those moments I realize that love is not merely the joy of togetherness, but also the courage to face the unknown alongside someone whose existence has become indispensable to your own. Your voice, soft and commanding in equal measure, has the power to soothe the wildest storms within me. Yet I am acutely aware that no voice, no matter how powerful, can shield us entirely from the uncertainties that lie ahead. And so I treasure every word, every inflection, as though each might be our talisman against the unknown. I lie awake imagining a life without the comfort of your hand in mine, and the thought is a blade I both recoil from and cling to, for it reminds me that the depth of my love is measured by the intensity of my fear. Each pulse of anxiety is, paradoxically, a confirmation of how entirely I am yours. Even in silence, you command the entirety of my attention. I watch your every movement, memorizing the subtleties of your presence. And yet my heart quivers at the thought that the future may demand more from us than we anticipate, that joy and sorrow may be interwoven in ways we cannot yet perceive. I find courage in imagining us together in the quiet dawn, our breaths mingling with the light. Yet that courage is shaded by the knowledge that no matter how bright the day, shadows are never fully absent, and in that knowledge, my love does not falter. It grows, tempered by apprehension, sharpened by the awareness of life's fleeting nature. When I speak of the future, it is with a trembling hope, for I long to believe in the permanence of our bond, yet I cannot silence the subtle whisper that warns me to cherish each moment, each glance, as though it were both the first and the last. The tension between hope and fear is a melody I have learned to embrace, one that binds me irrevocably to you. Sometimes, I imagine the delicate fractures that might appear between us, and I shiver at the thought, knowing that love requires more than desire. It demands vigilance, courage, and the willingness to confront uncertainty together. And yet, even in that imagined fear, my heart clings to you, unwilling to release even an inch of devotion. Your touch is a reminder of the fragility and strength of our bond, a paradox that mirrors my own heart's tumult. I am caught between the desire to shield you from the world and the understanding that life's tempests cannot be fully avoided, only weathered with the one whose presence transforms fear into purpose. Every word you speak resonates like a secret shared between the stars and the night, and I listen with rapt attention, savoring the intimacy while aware that every moment is tinged with suspense. The suspense of a life that is ever changing, of hearts that are never entirely certain of what comes next. In your eyes, I see the reflection of my own uncertainties and the hope that they might be overcome. I linger there, tracing the outlines of our shared future, even as the shadows of potential sorrow brush the edges of my mind. Love has never been so vivid, so dangerously beautiful, so suffused with both longing and vigilance. I tremble at the thought of our story unfolding, for it is a tale written in light and shadow alike. Every heartbeat, every glance, every whispered promise carries the weight of what we dare to hope for, and the subtle fear of what we cannot control. And yet, even in that trembling, I am unshakably devoted to you. Even as I walk beside you, feeling the warmth of your hand within mine, my mind wanders to the delicate threads that connect us and trembles at the thought that life might tug them apart. Each step we take together is infused with wonder, yet it is shadowed by the awareness that the world beyond us may not always be as kind or forgiving as we wish. I sometimes wonder if the world truly understands the depth of what binds us, or if it sees only the outward smile, the public facade, unaware of the silent devotion that aches in my chest whenever you look away. Loving you is a quiet rebellion, a storm held in my heart that refuses to settle. No matter how many times I breathe your name, the nights when you are distant, even for reasons trivial or mundane, are suffused with a tension I cannot shake. I lie awake, tracing the lines of your face in my memory, imagining the endless possibilities of your absence. And yet every shadow of doubt only deepens the flame of my longing for you. There is a sweetness to our shared silences, but it carries a fragile suspense, for in those quiet moments I feel both the intimacy of our bond and the precariousness of it, like a bird poised on the edge of a stormy cliff. And still, I linger in the stillness, unwilling to let go of even a heartbeat spent near you. Your laughter, so bright and unguarded, sometimes feels like a secret the world cannot take from us, and yet I worry that it is a fragile shield against unseen trials. Every smile becomes a promise, a fragile hope that must endure the uncertainties of tomorrow, and I hold on to it as though it were our salvation. I imagine the days to come, filled with both triumphs and unforeseen challenges, and a shiver runs through me at the thought that we may face them with nothing but our devotion to one another. Yet even as fear lingers at the edges of my mind, my heart refuses to relinquish its certainty. I am yours, now and always. When you speak to me softly, your words are both balm and arrow, soothing my deepest fears, while also reminding me that love is never simple, that it carries within it the weight of all possible futures. I drink in every syllable, aware that the world beyond us may try to steal these treasures one by one. I dream sometimes that the world conspires to separate us, and in that dream, my pulse races with both terror and defiance, for even if every force were arrayed against us, even if every shadow sought to extinguish the flame of our union, I would still seek you, still find my way to your side, still call you mine. There is a tenderness in your gaze that binds me in ways I cannot fully articulate, yet it is interwoven with a tension that reminds me the world is seldom forgiving to hearts like ours. Every glance from you feels like both a promise and a challenge, a fragile jewel I must guard with equal parts devotion and caution. I sometimes imagine the moments we have yet to live, and my chest tightens with anticipation and dread. Each future possibility feels alive, trembling with the weight of uncertainty, yet it is a weight I willingly bear, because it is yours, because it is ours, because it is the gravity that keeps my heart tethered to yours. The thought of losing even the smallest fragment of you is unbearable, and yet it sharpens my senses, making me notice the subtlest of gestures, the gentlest of touches, the quiet rhythms that make you who you are. Every detail becomes sacred, every fleeting moment a treasure against the inevitable erosion of time. Even in the busiest halls of court, your presence haunts me, filling the spaces between words and obligations. I am acutely aware of the way the world might intrude, of the way duty might separate us, and I clutch at the idea of us with desperate tenderness, unwilling to surrender even a fraction of my love. Your strength is both a comfort and a source of suspense for me. I see in you the capacity to face storms that I could scarcely endure alone, and yet I fear that the weight of the world may one day test your limits, leaving me powerless to shield you. And that thought alone makes my heart ache with anticipatory sorrow. When I imagine our shared laughter in years to come, it is tinged with fragility, like sunlight breaking through a storm cloud. I am painfully aware that happiness, no matter how radiant, is often fleeting, and that every moment we spend together is both a blessing and a defiance of the uncertainties that loom beyond our embrace. Even the quietest of nights carries its own suspense when you are near. I feel the rhythm of your breathing as though it were a drumbeat in my own chest, and I am simultaneously comforted and alarmed by the knowledge that such intimacy is both a gift and a responsibility that I dare not squander. I often think of the world we might create together, a tapestry of love and shared dreams, yet I tremble at the thought that the threads may fray, that fate may test the very fabric of us, and that our bond must endure trials we cannot yet foresee. Every hope carries the weight of this awareness, making each joy more precious. Even in your absence, I feel your presence haunting me, a bittersweet echo that reminds me both of what I hold and of what might be lost. My longing becomes a living thing, restless and insistent, a shadow that mirrors the depth of my devotion and the subtle anxiety that accompanies it. When I imagine the moments of quiet doubt you may carry within your heart, I feel a tremor in my own. I long to be your refuge, your steadfast anchor, your unyielding support. Yet I know that even the strongest love must navigate tempests, and that our hearts may be tested by challenges beyond our choosing. There is a thrill in our shared secrecy, in the private sanctuary of our affection, yet it carries a tension born of the knowledge that the world may not always honor our sanctuary. Every glance, every whisper, every brush of skin is a defiance against a universe that has the power to intrude, a rebellion written in the language of the heart. Even the simplest gestures, your hand on my shoulder, the curl of your lips in a fleeting smile, fill me with a profound and almost unbearable intensity. The beauty of these moments is heightened by the knowledge that they are temporary, and that love, in its purest form, is inseparable from the suspense of the unknown. I sometimes imagine the day when we must confront forces beyond our control, and my heart races with a combination of fear and determination. I know that no matter what comes, I will remain by your side, my devotion unwavering, my spirit bound to yours in ways that even time cannot erode. Your presence lingers in my thoughts like a fragrant memory, impossible to forget, impossible to relinquish. Even when we are apart, I carry you with me, and the weight of that presence is at once comforting and alarming, a constant reminder of both the depth of my love and the fragility of all we hold dear. There is a rhythm to our love that I can feel in the marrow of my bones, a cadence that swings between serenity and suspense. It is both exhilarating and terrifying, a dance between certainty and doubt that I embrace because it is ours, because it is what it means to truly love someone as fiercely as I love you. Even in the most ordinary moments, I sense the extraordinary stakes of our connection. Every shared glance, every tender word, every heartbeat becomes a testament to the courage of loving fully, even when shadows threaten the horizon, even when the future is unknown, even when the world may challenge us at every turn. I sometimes imagine the quiet despair that might visit us in the years ahead, and yet even in that imagined sorrow, my heart refuses to relinquish hope. For to love you is to embrace uncertainty, to find strength in vulnerability, to tether oneself to a light that may flicker, but will never fade while we hold it together. Every moment we share becomes a fragile treasure in my mind, a jewel set against the uncertainty of what may come. And though I cannot control the tides of fate, I can offer the entirety of my devotion, the unshakable constancy of my heart, and the promise that I will face whatever comes with you, side by side. Even as the world presses upon us with relentless insistence, I find solace in the small certainties. Your hand in mine, your voice in the quiet, your gaze that anchors me amidst the chaos. These certainties are fleeting, yet in their fleetingness lies their power, and I cling to them with a reverence that is both tender and urgent.